Okay, so let's see if I can move this over a little bit. Don't worry about the details of the substitution. That's just saying that these three, the stack of 3 extra long, S3XL, stack of 3 extra long, 5, 6, 7, R2, 3, 4, 5, 6, can be treated as a substitution just into the 5, 6. So it starts on this 5, 6 here and it ends on its own 5, 6 there, and it can be substituted as a 5, 6 into this pattern right here, this 5, 6 right here. This whole pattern right here can be substituted into this 5, 6. Your start point and your end point is out, and then from here, from this 5, 6, the brain says I'm in an S4L, giant S4L now, but I shrunk down the substitution. Now I know where the 7R2 is, because I can play an S3L anytime. Here's the 5, 6. You know, so you go something like now I have to warp on this one. This is the 5, 6. I would have to warp. You have to do that warp. And think twice before you hit it. That's why guitar players, I think, like to, you know, when I draw a blank, you know, I'll just start like meandering, you know, and going around, and that's not necessarily fun. So there should be no pressure when you're playing, unless you're performing, you know. Then it's a good idea to practice up a whole bunch. So even if you do like lose your place, you can always rely on a different method. See, I could do that. I could rely on a different method. If I forgot the pattern I was playing, I know I'm in G, I can always go, you know, I could just play by sight, or I could play by caged, you know. If it's in G, it would be like I could do a, you know, but when you start guessing like that, you have to use the ear, and you can feel it almost in your ear that you change keys, or you're homing in on a different key that maybe you thought you were in. I was playing a G, but that G was obviously part of, if I'm doing an S2L from a G like that, part of the C, you know, so give it an F sharp and you're changing the key like that. So be careful about those kind of things, you know. I mean, there should be no pressure when you're writing a song, especially, you know, and then just play it like riding a bike, you know. You're not going to think about it the same way every time. So here we have this pattern stack here. Now remember, this is the pattern stack with the long substitution, but I want to talk about the grouping. So in this pattern stack, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, 2, 3, 4. Okay? These are where you would start the 3 minors. The Phrygian, the characteristic half step at the beginning of the Phrygian scale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, R, 2, 3. Alright, so the Phrygian's there, the 3, see 3, 3 there. The Aeolian is a fourth above that. Okay, and then a fourth above the Aeolian, again in perfect fourths. Patterns are in perfect fourths. The Dorian. Okay, and then a fourth above the Dorian, we go into the majors, which is the dominant, the Mixolydian, the root up there, and the fourth. So here's the 3 majors right here. This is a change I made to this yesterday, and the 3 minors here. I hadn't grouped these little boxes. So 7th half diminished is up here. Now part of the Lydian fourth, or the augmented fourth, all right, is part of the group that is also considered a subset, which is, or something like that, is extended cages. So the Lydian, let's see if we have that down here. Up here, the Lydian is actually encapsulated by the Phrygian cage, you know, the major cage, root C, the C in the caged system. The Lydian fourth is part of that. 4, 5, 6, and there's the natural seventh. Okay, normally if you're in the key of F, you would be hitting this B flat there. All right, and you could see how with root you'd go root 2, let's say imaginary 3, 4 would be right there next to the fourth, where here you go 4, 5, 6 is the third of the third. All right, and then it would be 7 flat there, but it's not, because it's a Lydian fourth. So the Lydian's encapsulated within the C cage. So what expands this C cage a little bit is you would just call it C mixed with an E-shaped fourth mixed with a G-shaped fifth. All right, and then the other characteristic kind of overlay of a cage that contains a cage, or a cage that expands to a cage, is the root. And this is interesting. When we have the root here, you're going to do this pentatonic, the 2. All right, but when you want to go to the fourth of the root, you're going to go to the A for this is second inversion, root 4, 6, root 4, 6. So it's like that, root 4, 6. Okay, so that's going to go to the A shape. And then how are we going to get that? How are we going to get that fifth? Let's see. On my guitar, I'm down tuned to C, so I can do it right here. All right, so it's, how am I going to get the fifth? Go like this. That's out of the cage. That's in the next cage. All right, so that's not, that's okay, but to work within this chamber, within this cage, we're going to have to do something else. And the way it works out is if we expand the cage down, but we're not expanding the cage literally, because when we do the pentatonic off the root, the E-shaped pentatonic, all right, we're going, the S2L is the 3, 5, 6 root. This guy here, this X3L, 3, 5, 6 root, is going to expand down there anyway. The 3 sitting right on top of the 7 from the S3L here. All right, it's going to expand down there anyway. So that opens up our cage, because the cage is now based on a pentatonic. It's called a pentatonic cage, not just, you know, and that's what caged is. The problem with caged is that, not the problem with, but the funny thing about it is that, or the great thing about it is that it starts with C. Okay, it starts with C, meaning the first cage is a C major. There's the 1, 4, and the 5. So those 3 define the C major scale. Okay, I'd rather play it without the capo.